Thank you for visiting. It's Glenn Livers with a small group of my favorite poets, and this is April 2026. Smaller reading this month, and that's because technical difficulties. I haven't been very well prepared lately. So I do want to share some of my own work this week. I'm going to kick off with that while we're waiting for other people to come in, if that should happen, and then we'll kind of see where it goes. So, give me just a hot second to get one of these websites up, and then I will share my screen. So, always the case that I open the wrong thing. So bear with me for just a second. All right, and I've got the turn sharing on for everybody. We'll see how that works. All right, so this is the new 100-word fiction. So I'm going to read fiction instead of poetry at first, but then I'll get a couple of poems in. So, but this is the new remake of that website. So I'm really excited about how it looks, and new submissions are coming in. That's not what we're here for, so I won't talk too much about it. If you go to the editor's page, every every piece in this journal is exactly 100 words, and it's hard to do. It's hard to write something that's exactly 100 words that says anything and doesn't like seem to waste a lot of space. So I gave it a go to encourage other people. So sometimes editors put themselves out there too. So this is a piece called Wednesday. My mother makes apple pie every Wednesday, has since 1962. The crust burns on the bottom. The filling is too sweet. We eat it because there's pie. Last week I asked her why Wednesday. She frowned. Because the day. Driving home in the rain, I thought of my father, who had died on the Tuesday in 1972, who would not have known about the pie, who would have not had known that for 50 years his wife had been making it ready for him to come home on Wednesday, sitting alone at the table with the cooling crust, waiting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Fantastic.
here's another one. It's 100 words exactly. The dog had been ours for 14 years when he stopped eating. The vet said it was not a thing to fix. We took him home in the towel he liked. We took him to the river he liked. We sat in the grass. He put his head on my husband's knee. He looked with great seriousness at the water moving past, as if memorizing it. It was the last time he looked at anything. A heron came down, then stood for a moment in the shallows, lifted off again. We watched it go. The dog did not look up.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to cry throughout this whole thing. Great. Uh,
No, uh, it's not so tough. All right, so I want to go to haikujournal.org real quick, and that page was off also remade, and I think I've got a couple of poems on here to share. Just double confirm that. Nope, I don't. I didn't post them. Give me the 3 line. Hold on. I thought I posted them, but I didn't. So that'll be it for my reading today, and we'll see how that goes. So thanks for that. I did post some examples, but they're not easy. for me to recall where I put them. Let's do the next James Bethel, please.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Glenn. Nice to see you guys. Um, I'm going to take you at your word here. I've got four or five. Um, they're relatively short, most of them. There is one long one at the end. Um, this first one um, occurred as a consequence of the recent Academy Awards. As soon as the program was over, this poem leapt out of my brain onto a page. The title of it is Junkyard Dog. A thought just now. I felt it released into the ether sphere to manifest God knows where or when or even how. It was so fleeting, I didn't see it, but only felt it leave. I have no remembrance of it, save for its departure and the sense that something about it felt like an echo of a growl from a junkyard dog. There we go. And lately, and Poetry Magazine has been featuring a whole sequence of really great poems from Linda Gregg. And I wrote this one in response. On a moment's danger, reading poetry late at night, or the death of a scorpion. Reading Linda Gregg's poem, The War, about a scorpion being teased by a group of men so capable of such idiocy. When the book marked place on page 64 of Poetry Magazine fell as if it jumped into my lap and it scared the living light right out of me, for a moment anyway. This one is called Ignorance. The laws of gender prohibit a man from ever really knowing his mother. Just so, the laws of men prohibit a man from ever fully knowing his father. He is an orphan in the world, acting a role written by another orphaned actor in a world that never, ever really knows him. New pages are hard to get a hold of. Come on, machine. There we go. This is called Rumor. None of this matters. So it's been said all the way to the end of meaninglessness. I beg to differ. I think there is something called beauty. Those moments of awe and the gifts we've been given without knowing that have led us to this very amazing present moment. It's true, as Bob Hickok wrote about the bright side of pessimism, we're all going to die. But most of us, he said, aren't going to die in Butte, Montana in December or without love.
There you go.
I love Bob. I mean, this is a longer one, and I'll turn it back to you guys. This is a response to Glenn's prompt at the last session regarding a road or traveling. It's a highly truncated summary from a very long 3-page piece entitled The Road Most Traveled. The Road Most Traveled, to be read aloud when the hall needs emptying, being observations from the many who've risked the return to the Platonic cave, literally re-reporting, if you will, on the nature of the journey beyond the shadows. Castaneda, reporting on a dream by Don Juan, noted, all the paths are the same. they lead nowhere. For those just beginning to be aware that there actually is a journey, here's the point. Time on the path is irrelevant. There is a sense in which we always feel we are not getting anywhere. It leads to Don Juan's next question, which is, does this path, the one you have chosen, the one you're on in this very moment, does it have a heart? If it doesn't, then it is of no use. All paths at the point of their choosing lead nowhere. But one path has a heart, and the others don't. Just you try being alone without any form of distraction and see how quickly you want to get away from yourself and forget what you are. Want to get away? Well, there are three paths. One, through our loneliness. Two, the true path on the other side of our loneliness. Or three, there's always the attempt to Mickey Mouse away from our loneliness on our new Pathfinder. On that latter road, Gertrude reported, whenever you get there, there's no there. Of the three, running from our loneliness is the road most traveled. The path on the other side of loneliness is not about following in the footsteps of the old and the dead. It's about seeking what they sought, but doing it in your own way. It's a starting point. It is suggested that one gets personal in public, wears a t-shirt that doesn't advertise or say anything, learns to sit still, and then sitting still to learn one thing, and it is that the past and the future are both illusions. Rumi had an invitation to the traveler. There is a field, and I will meet you there. Thank you, guys.
Stellar ending on that, by the way.
Yeah,
Something
I
about
read
that.
Rumi every day. I think.
I mean that field is such an
Oh yeah,
iconic. It's so iconic,
very,
right? We
very
see it in the breadth of a lot of different works, and
right.
it and it's a blank canvas for
Mm-hmm.
us as the reader to bring ourselves to that image. It's just absolutely wonderful. Dennis,
Hi guys, I'm gonna share screen. Everyone see that okay?
Yeah.
Binoculars magnify the pinched faces of stickmen stumbling across the beaten zone. Oomph! 655 millimeter howitzers fire in unison. My lungs vibrate like the drumheads of timpani. Needles gash ears. Air pillows inflate my battle dress. The guns rock and roll on their split trails. Their crazy mad percussion hatches worms in my head.
Mm.
Mushrooms of red mud brush, flesh, inflate. A too gentle breeze brushes treetops, disperses the sulfur smoke, substituting the smell of iron blood and flayed intestines from downrange. The fog tears my eyes and makes snot hang from my nose. The lenses force me to see shredded bodies of men and boys. I jam the binoculars into the dirt.
Mm.
And then number two, say, hi, bud. The watching place. In the late afternoon shadows, the neighborhood clockwork winds down. Echoes of children's play bounce off curbed, warm-hooded cars, their faded surfaces beaded with water. Raindrops tink in the gutters, form puddles in the sidewalk's low spots, where tree roots have tilted the slabs. Leaves glide across slick concrete surfaces, pushed in random directions by the rain's kisses. Warped porch boards creak. I sit rocker-bound, clutch my whiskey glass, and mutter to the weed-choked yard. 3-day-old gray and black stubble pricks my fingers as I rub my chin. I drift in the air, the smells of jalapenos, onions, and curry. Evening voices start. The local mothers sing out the day with a soprano harmony of Spanish, English, and Hindi come to supper calls. DeWitt chases old Tom from his watching place on the fender of a rusted 67 Blue Eldorado. Trailing muddy paw prints, the cat scoots to a backup lair, his arthritic hip favored with a limp. Under the front porch of the broken windowed house across the street, he takes up a sphinx's pose. The cat's witch eyes turn to fire and yank me into the truth of myself. A slump-shouldered, empty man. Every day, yesterday, today, always return to booze and stale, ragged sheets. I whisper, "Screw you, Tom," and reach for the scotch.
That's about right.
Yay.
And the last one, let's see. It's a little science fiction-y. The Beggar's Story. O strangers, the wonders I have seen. A comet's gauzy tail of ivory and turquoise, moons of gold and planet rings of silver. Lone wolf asteroids, their pitted iron hulks rumble between suns. Klystron beams of pure carnelian slice ships into shards off the belt of Orion. Oh, the madness I remember. The campaign against the crystal-skinned targs in the jarled jungles of Warrag. Soldiers cluster behind clanking machines as they crush the rainbow flowers of Kabor. Lasers flash off their shields. 100,000 die at the sack of Ganat City among the rape and fire. Oh, travelers, I now beg here, the survivor of battles of plenty, with my crooked leg and blind, beam-burned eyes. All my salvaged loot long pissed away on Basanti ale and the short-lived favors of five-armed Guptu woman. For only a few small coppers or a foam-topped stein, I will spin you a true saga of wonder. Oh, yes, I hear the clink of coins in my cup. Listen then, friends, listen to my tale of Captain Folari and the companions of the Company of the Rose during their days of glory.
Yay.
That's it for me, guys.
I'm tossing coins.
Thanks, Dennis. On that last piece, and for the people watching the video, in poetry, professional poets call it cacophony when you have sounds that sort of bang and clash, and in moments of the poem that are about strife or these stress and tension. And I thought that was so well done in that last piece, because right about midway through I really felt that how the sounds of the language that was used sort of worked with the story that was unfolding. And that's excellent. This is the kind of thing that goes overlooked by a lot of people, but it's hard to do well, and it feels so natural. Just really, really appreciated that. Lynette Esposito, please.
Hello, it's Lynette Can you hear me?
Yes.
That's Lynette Esposito from Mount Laurel, New Jersey. I have a couple. The sequoia sings. I dream of the sequoias singing when the breeze dances amongst the maestro limbs, carving invisible piano notes on their barks. The song is old. I cannot understand the ancient lyric. My wild pen shards words on this page like fragments crushed by the thought of giants who do not speak my language, and I cannot express theirs.
Mm.
I have a little one, untitled. Footsteps at the dead, silent in dark and light, guide lost children home. That's it.
Hmm.
Thank
Can you
you.
read that again? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. I'd love to read again. Thank you. Footsteps of the dead, silent in darkness and light, guide lost children home.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's
that's nice.
lovely.
Hmm.
I think it's kind of sad, but you get in
It
the
is
mood
sad.
and you do sad things.
So much meaning in so few words. And
Right.
there's an art to that. That
Well,
compression is just really
that's
good. But
unusual for me because I blab a lot. But anyway, I have one more going home. I follow the trail through the angry trees as a wily wind whips leaves off their skinny arms and throws them to the ground. The trail is littered with gold and brown, obscuring the path. I am lost in the storm of coming autumn and do not know where my footsteps should fall, enveloped in sunlight and cold, alone beneath the undressing trees, sensing winter.
Hmm.
the undressing trees. That just
That's
really
it for today.
that line really sings. That's very, very nice. Um, can I ask the two call-in callers to speak up and tell me your names so I can put you on the list? I can't see who you are, just that you called in on the phone.
This is Mary Gunn here, Ken.
Hi,
Can
Mary.
you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm just listening in today. I don't have any poems to read because I'm using a new phone and I'm just trying to get the hang of using the phone.
Okay. So are you reading today?
No, I've nothing to read. I don't
Okay,
have
that's
anything in front of me that I can read.
oh well, you know what? That's so nice that you came to listen. Thank you for doing that. And
Okay.
good to see
I
you.
mean,
We kind of miss you around here.
that's right. I just wanted to say hello to everybody and I'm enjoying their poetry.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And the other caller? Okay. The other caller might be
Actually,
away from.
I got cut off and I dialed in again. Maybe that's me coming in twice.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. All right, let's go on to KB Ballantyne, one of my favorite poets.
Yay, I'm so happy to be here. I'm glad you were able to send us a note today. That was a great treat for me. So this was a poem I wrote from your prompt from March a year ago. And it
Okay.
was published in the Women of Appalachia Project, Volume 12. The Ecstasy of Spring. All wild geese and forsythia, March blusters in like a cluster of crows, flustering the sycamores just beginning to bud. We were hoping for lambs, but thin blue skies offer only lions, wildness rumbling the air. It's time to pluck the moon as she rouses from Pisces to Aries, embrace branches ravaged with the bewildering of green, purple, pink, yellow, crown the woods with color, shock the browns and grays willing to abandon, to surrender their hold. Each day promises more, 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 hearts of stone seduced to flesh, ones that thrash like wind, like rain. Soon even these bones will sing.
Hmm.
Like Sean there for a second. The
I
singing
was
bones.
channeling him.
There you go. Yeah.
Right.
I need to contact him and ask him where he has been. This was also published in the Women of Appalachia Project. It's called An Odd Word Miracle, with a line from Lawrence Rabb. I've been thinking about death, about how we use our breath for so much more than breathing. The great poem is always possible, as long as there are finches charming winter trees, egrets ghosting through mist, and soil where I plant seeds of bee balm. milkweed, and coneflowers. A poem of color and song that keeps singing. I'm half orphaned now, and still a poem is possible because I hear your laugh in mine, because I can still taste your homemade barbecue sauce tart on my tongue, and one of your friends remembers you buying him shoes. Who I was on Monday is not the same as Tuesday when your body went cold. The hum and puff of the ventilator fooled me. I thought it would stop when you did. The ice and snow waited for you, dawn sneaking across your still face. And a poem is always possible, maybe even greater, when you have left the room.
Ouch.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that one hit hard. I did Billy Collins master class, and this is just like right in the zone. I mean, it's really in that genre of what he teaches, and all poems are different, but I'm just speaking to his sort of style. It starts in one place and it moves to another. That um, the finches, charming trees, these little asides, and then when you're done reading, you can go back and you can get more out of that from where it finishes. That was really good. Really,
Okay,
really good. I enjoyed that one.
thanks. Harbor. Air warm and chanting rain, second summer helms into November like a ship. Passages that brought new faces, new places into a life you thought would slow and falter if you retired. Trees hollowed by wind, limbs bared and lovely lick the damp, relish the space usually draped by leaves. Hollow, you can be drenched with the sweet words of friends, honey that fills the emptiness. A rainbow doubles over Viking Mountain, floats in mist and haze, clouds blooming across the blue-gray sky. And you remember the promises you made to childhood friends, to your wife, to yourself. It's okay now to let the luster fade, to walk into the colors of the prism and become one of them.
Hmm.
I'm looking at Viking Mountain right now. Well, actually, I would be if it weren't raining. And I'll take you at your word if I can read another one. Okay, this was published in Zest of the Lemon, and it's for Bill Brown. What gifts are given? I walk under the bare sugar maple, and a constellation of starlings startles the sky, flies into the blue. January. No gifts of color or perfume from the woods. We've begun the new year without you, Bill, so full of love and life. But I can't fathom the fathoms of sky without you. My heart's a bustin', hoping you knew the color and light shared in your words, your smile, your, dare I say it, kindness. Where do we find another like you? Are we supposed to become the best parts of you? To gather your gifts like pieces of mist until we're wrapped in clouds like a hug, the blue just beyond, a promise to come. Thank you.
Hmm.
Thanks. Hard act to follow. Um, Peter King, please.
Right. I'll just share as usual. Oh, seems to have changed where the share is.
Yeah, on mine is
Yeah.
mine it's on the very bottom. It's a little arrow pointing up. I don't know what it looks like on your screen. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one, Fenlands, in this country anyway, in the East Coast, down from Lincolnshire through Cambridgeshire, and it's where I'm from. So here are a few vignettes, really, of the Fenlands. Here, the sea and land are mediated, joined by compromise. Earth and water mix, support, or suck down at a whim. The salt air's freighted with the sense of growing things and of decay. Black earth, black water, or black mud, it's hard to tell until your weight's committed and you sink or fail to swim. A golden plover calls in eerie high despair. Its plumage forms a weather map, the cold front triangles let loose in white and gold on sable. From the east, across the grey-green placid sea, a shrewd wind slices in to take advantage of this state of indecision.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does anybody else think that Peter would be like a great professional narrator,
Yes.
like on TV or
Definitely.
Right.
nature shows or anything?
Well, thank you. I think
He's got a
late.
great, it's just such a great voice. Okay, I'll shut up now. Go ahead.
Right, this one takes its name from that often misattributed comment on golf. A game of golf is a good walk spoilt. So this is golf without the balls. From the stile, the ridge looks close at hand. That clump of bushes, though, I know to be a grove of maples, and the whitish dots are what remain of ancient standing stones. Can stiles be crossed with elegance? Well, not by me. And as I stumble on the other side, the sheep look up from tearing at the lush spring grass and stare without expression, till I cross a line invisible to me, and then they're scrambling away as if a pack of wolves had suddenly appeared. There is a fallen tree up near the hedgerow, where the brambles bear a heavy crop each year. It toppled decades since, and lies like some huge skeleton picked clean and bearing witness to an unimaginable beast of ancient times or myth. A drift of pale gold spreads from where the winter frosts have driven fingernails into the dry stone wall and brought it down, revealed its freshly quarried surfaces from where they've long been hidden underneath the weathered grey. Further in and further up, I reach the ridge's highest point, where great wild stones, once tamed, domesticated, now are feral, lichened lumps that lurk in undergrowth to trip the careless and preoccupied.
Mm.
Lichen lumps that lurk. It's
Great
like,
images.
yeah,
Both of
really
those,
good.
both of those need stronger endings, I think, but I have to work on those.
The
Uh,
mechanics, the mechanics are great, you know. I think so.
uh, okay, this is a bit of a pun in the title. Tiger Rag. A half-light pulses in an inner room, cycles endlessly. Tambura stripes, unique, essential. Bridge between two worlds, the vina sounds a sliding sympathy. It swoops, soars, spirals, subdividing tones that rage and teeter on the lip of possibility, prowling. Playing tag with a mridangam, deep boom, staccato rattle, pattering like claws on corrugated roofs. And I don't know if I have time for another one or
Yeah, please.
yeah. Um, this is from a new collection anthology, Poems for Protest, which came out recently. Um, and this is one of mine from the anthology, which is also from the series I've read from on one of these readings, I think, which takes a line from someone else's poem as a sort of graft and then builds up a poem around it. So it's in the middle. And the graft line for this is from David Constantine's poem, Drunk Locked in Music Room Rex Grand, in his book, Something for the Ghosts. And the line that I've taken is, and then his howl began, he could still hear. So you'll hear that again in a moment. Constrained by history, each building, street, and square dragged centuries behind it, and he felt entangled in their fetters, unable to break free. He stumbled along pavements in whose slabs were set memorials to people and events. Even in the middle of the road, he trod upon a plaque describing some appalling crime. And then his howl began. He could still hear traffic noises, engines, clashing gears, impatient horns, but voices from the past were crushed beneath his wordless scream. From all across the city, he began to hear a scattering of faint responses, joining with him, strengthening, until the bonds of time began to shatter, and the present floated from its chains. Floating with it, he fell silent once again. But now his silence spoke of what might be. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Just when I had keyed myself, I'm like, I'm going to listen for those moments of alliteration, like the previous poem. Then he completely changes up, and I can't find it. It's just so good. It's so good. You are a great poet, but also your range. The mechanics that you choose, that you just abandon this and put this in, and you work different things differently. Um, that's really great. There are a lot of poets in my slush piles I'm reading blindly, and I read the poem and I know who they are. I don't want to because it's kind of cheating, but I know who they are. And I'd have a tough time with you, Peter. Have different poems and different formats, and uh, that's to your credit that you have that range. Francis.
Good morning, everybody. I might beg your indulgence just for a moment. I'm trying to put together a program for the AWP conference, and what I'm trying to put together is some folks that have experienced major illness or major medical problems, and how they cope with moving forward in your writing career while being faced. I've been a year now battling prostate cancer, which comes with a series of drugs and radiation treatments that kind of hammer your muscle mass and bone density, but also continuing brain fog. And I thought it would be helpful for folks. And I'm pre-boomer, so I've always been kind of suck it up. We don't need support groups and all that. But having that shadow of cancer following you around in the dark for a year kind of changes your attitude a bit. So if anyone would like to participate in that kind of a a presentation, probably a panel, and it's in March. The AWP is in March of next year. I tried to go this year, but ended up circling the drain with sepsis in Florida for a few days, so never made it. But I would like to make it next year and do this program. So I'll try to put in the chat my email address, and if you're interested, just let me know. And it's in March of next year. And thanks for that indulgence. And it has affected me here too. I can't remember the last time I read or what I read, and I probably should have taken notes, but I didn't. But anyway, let's go. I have in self-promotion. I have a poetry book that came out in September, right in the middle of radiation. It's called A Benediction in Light and Shadows, and it's on Amazon. Uh, and then I had a novella that came out in January, and it's called Death in the Long Shadows. And it's short, and it's also on Amazon. It's also on Barnes and Noble. So thank you for that plug. Have two poems. Since I took up so much time, I'll stick with them. The first is a short one, haiku. Streaming raven hair, pulsing bolero guitar, hot sigh of summer. Streaming raven hair, pulsing bolero guitar, hot sigh of summer. And the second poem is just was published this month in Beyond Words literary magazine out of Berlin, Germany. And it's called Ascension. When I slip away on a rainy street, cobblestones glistening in moist melancholy, the lifting fog will carry that which is measured but cannot be weighed. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Welcome, Keith. Are you reading today?
Sure, if there's time.
Okay, great. We just have one more ahead of you, actually, because a small group today. So, Francis, if there's anything I can do to help with that, because I have a huge uh, mailing list of poets, I might be able to, put a little feeler out without offending too many people, uh, and ask if I can find any resources for you or people that might want to get in touch with you. But you'd have to communicate to me if I'm allowed to like share your email or how that would work. And we can talk after the meeting for that. But please don't just run off, and we'll see if we can work something out. Marcus Benjamin Ray Bradley, please.
Hi, everyone. I've missed you guys. It's been a few months.
Yeah.
Um, I'm still promoting my first book about persona poems about the characters in the Beatles lyrics.
Yeah.
This came out late last year. I've read here at least one time about these drawings of the people like Sergeant Pepper and Jude. So persona poems from characters like that in the Beatles. And I thought, because Mother's Day is just Glenn, thank you. Mother's Day is just around the corner. I thought I would try to find some angle to read about that. Can you see the picture?
Not yet, but it
No.
says it's loading.
Okay.
Sometimes it takes a moment. It depends on your internet. There it goes.
Okay, so we have line drawings in the book about what characters might look like and a bit of a description from what we can glean from the Beatles lyrics. So this one is about Mother Nature's son from the White Album. The synopsis is a country boy loves to spend his time out in nature, sitting near a stream, singing and enjoying the fields and flowers around him. The poem is from Mother Nature's son's point of view. It is called Beneath the Sun. No one owns the green out of doors. Nature belongs to every one of us who makes the effort to discover it. A beautiful song can be found there if you just take the time to tune in. But you need to go beyond the quiet, like noticing the sniffs and scratches during prayers at other sacred places, and register sounds of water and wind. Inscribed upon the very staff as buzzing and small foot traffic, you can become a part of it if you blend with the surroundings. A timeless tune you can accompany, unveiled to your mindful senses, giving her an audience to serenade and allowing her to be appreciated, which is all any mother really wants.
That line, that turn of phrase, other sacred places, did so much work, I think, for me in that piece. It really was transformative. That was great.
Thank you. And I've got one more, maybe a bit of a stretch, not Penny Lane. Um, Trying to get there. Nope, nope, nope. Sorry for the scrolling. Okay, Now, this one is from Rubber Soul. Just turned one, or I'm just turned 60 last year. This is the song called I've Just Seen a Face. Um, the narrator has just met someone he will love forever and never forget. He wants to tell the world all about her. This poem is called Head Over Heels. Today was the day I saw the face that I'll love for the rest of my living days. My joy is uncontainable, and I'm sure she'll be in my dreams if I can sleep. The masses need to know that no other girl has ever been comparable to this one. I could never forget the first time we met, or that it happened in delivery room 2143.
That was great. I like that twist at the end. Well done, Marcus.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Keith. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and then you missed a couple of comments earlier. You can do a few extra poems if you feel it this time because we have such a small gathering this opportunity.
All right. Thanks, everybody. And I'm Keith Parsons. I actually was published in Poetry Quarterly a long, long, long time ago, which is how I ended up on the list. And I kind of came back to this because I started writing Substack about all my previous publications. And I threw the link in the chat if anyone wants to check it out. But let me read a couple of newer things. If I can figure out how to share. All right, can you all see my screen here?
I can see it.
The Dead Bough. Many branches hang to the water, weighted with blossoms and significance, cantilevered like the long camera lenses, inverse step pyramids peering for sunrise on the tidal pool. The trunks gnarl and crack, or sometimes just die, and still project black on the pink sky as if dressed in their former life. He sits on a bench behind one such dead bough, a few white petals almost invisible against his hair. I asked him why he was behind this bare branch, while the crowds scrabbled for a shot with the fluffy white. I have been here, he said. It is not now blossoms I look forward to seeing.
Hmm.
And here's one more that is also super, super recent. Pocahontas County, West Virginia. Is there a word for a storm sweeping the darkness? When you feel most secure, your needs sated, stored, to rouse you from your bed, upset your balance, break your peace, pull you to action, antics, focused, frantic. What word do you say when that news arrives that you did not know, but you did in your heart? A stone rolling down the hill, crashing through the brush, and sticks and old leaves crashing, again unevenly, ungainly. Is there a word for what falls from the face of the cliff, from your face, freely, until with a splash it rests on the bottom of the creek, grows moss, and sits quietly? What do you call the moisture that comes with the night and is gone in the morning?
Did you have another for today, or are you done?
Oh, no, that'll be all. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Keith. You know that I generally encourage people, and when I'm teaching and tutoring and stuff, to avoid that whole questions. You know, a poem that's a question, that's too much of that. Um, but there's a balance where it can work, and I think you really dialed in on that. You know, it doesn't. It's the images are kind of interwoven with the questions, and it's, you know, it's speaking while it's asking, it's sharing, and you continue as the reader to import as your questions are coming. And I think you did a really good job on that. I don't see that done as well as you did that very often. So I just wanted to give you a little pat on the back for how well you did that, because that's, you don't see the much of that in professional circles. It was pretty good. Well, I think we're done. Right in on 1 hour. Thanks everybody for coming. I'll get this published on the Prolific Press website. Um, I don't have a prompt for next month. I'll email that out for everybody. All right. Take care,
Fantastic.
you guys. Thanks for coming
Thank
today.
you. Great to see everybody.
Good to
Yeah,
see all of
great
you.
time. Great time. Wonderful.